Case so many people are following. The Utah doctor and Sunday school teacher on trial for the murder of his wife. Prosecutors say that Martin MacNeill pressured her to get plastic surgery and then fed her an overdose of drugs. ABC's Aditi Roy has the latest.
The latest round of testimony in the Martin MacNeill trial began with an urgent knock on the door from a 6-year-old child.
So I went to the front door and it was Ada. And she just said, "My dad needs some help."
Prosecutors say little Ada MacNeill had just discovered Michelle MacNeill's seemingly lifeless body in the bathtub of their Utah home in 2007 when Martin MacNeill asked her to get help from the neighbors.
By the time I got to the middle of our driveways, I could hear Martin yelling. When I first went in, I saw that Michelle was in the tub and Martin was over the tub.
MacNeill's lawyers say the former beauty queen died of a heart disorder, but prosecutors claim MacNeill gave his wife a deadly dose of prescription drugs and then lured her into that tub, a replica of it seen here in court.
And he said he needed a male's help?
That's what I remember.
Danielle said she then called her husband, Doug, who came right over.
She just looked lifeless and collapsed, kind of slumped down in the bottom of the tub.
But he says something seemed off, telling jurors it didn't appear MacNeill tried to give his wife CPR or that he even needed anyone's help to get her out of the tub.
I definitely could have got her out of the tub myself.
First emergency responders on the scene testified MacNeill also had outbursts while they tried to help Michelle.
He was yelling in references to why she had the surgery, the fact she was on a lot of medication. It was distracting because of the volume of which it was yelled at us, or yelled at Michelle.
Testimony resumes on Tuesday. For Good Morning America, Aditi Roy, ABC News, San Francisco.
We're going to bring in ABC News Chief Legal Affairs anchor Dan Abrams now. And Dan, the testimony on Friday, what really stood out?
Well, they're trying to show that he acted somewhere between bizarrely, at the very least, or at the worst, actively sabotaged the rescue efforts. One of the most important things I think we heard was this notion that one of the neighbors arrives and it seems ready to help. And instead of saying, help me, he says, you know what, I think I need a guy's help here to get my wife out of the tub. I think that jurors are going to have a real problem with that, and that's a big point.
So what was the defense's response to that?
Well, look, the defense says he was trying to provide CPR here. He was doing the best that he could. He was trying to call 911, et cetera. There are just going to be a number of problems with that account because there are inconsistencies, not just in sort of what he said, but in what he did and how he did it.
And so the witnesses that are expected to take the stand in the next couple of days or so, what kind of impact could they have?
Well, we're going to see more police witnesses, but I think that this is a human case, right? This is a case where the prosecutors are hoping the jurors are going to say, this makes no sense. This just doesn't add up. So the next set of witnesses you're going to see a bit more of the first responders testifying, a bit more of the police testimony, but the most important testimony we're expecting, of course, are going to be his own daughters, who are going to come in and testify against him in no uncertain terms. These daughters are pointing the finger at Dad, saying the guy we idolized, the guy we loved, the guy we grew up with, the guy we followed, that's the guy who killed our mother.
His older daughters. The younger daughter was the one that went to the neighbor.
That's right. That's right. The youngest daughter, at the time 6 or 7 years old, is going and knocking on the neighbor's door saying, Daddy needs help. It's the older daughters who are the ones who really believe in their heart that it was their dad who did it. And one of them actually was taking notes, et cetera, before this all happened about her concerns about what he was doing with Mom.
And they've held pictures up of their mother.
Absolutely. They've been instrumental in getting this case to trial.
All right. Dan, thank you so much. So it resumes tomorrow, Tuesday.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, great.